1, 2, 3. No, 3 would be too many. Hello, welcome to WTF FTW, our first podcast, my third attempt. Basically, a lot of technical difficulties as per usual. If you know me, you're laughing right now. If you don't know me, you'll be laughing in the future. Just not right now. So our first episode, we thought we'd talk to everybody about porn, which is like, I mean, the best.
Great first episode.
Right? Like, way to get those hits and those clicks and those views. Let's talk about some porn. Are you ready? Like this where you come in with like the sexy, the sexy like porn
yeah,
voice to
because
get
yours
everybody.
Was really more creeper.
Mine was too creeper. Everything I do is creeper.
It is really creeper.
It can't be anything like ever, like, ooh, that's the hottest guy I've ever heard before. Like, never. My voice is always the creeper.
He does have a really creeper way.
And then you look at me and I'm also creeper.
Yeah, he loses on all
Did you know
accounts.
what's happening to me on my The Games channel is I'm like getting very aware of my bald head, and I cover it up now.
It does feel like it gets bolder and bolder.
I don't like it. The older I get, I'm not liking the baldness anymore because I am reflecting myself as a giant penis, but I'm small now. I feel small. Maybe that's it. And what a great segue back into our discussion. We're talking about today. I thought the title was pretty elegant. Unicorn of porn. Right? Yeah. I thought that was a great title for this.
I think so.
Kirsty poured some amazing beer here. What do you got?
I don't know what it is. The only thing I know is it's great German beer.
It is very good. Germans really know how to make beer.
They do.
What do you think it is about Germans and Irish people?
I don't know. They're like really rough and like you get
they're
a
darker.
Really dark.
Yeah, they're darker.
Heavy.
I think that the beer itself. Usually, I'm not a dark beer drinker.
I am, but
I mean, like, I don't like the pale piss of the American beer,
yeah.
and that sounds very snobby. I just went on I'm sorry, everybody out there. I went on a very snobby beer level, but I don't normally like Pabst Blue Ribbon. Hey, everybody, you know what I can't wait to rip into? Can't wait to rip into my Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Have you figured out why people think you sound like a creeper?
That's my voice. That's my ignorant Southern guy voice.
It's a little scary, babe.
Well, that's what they are. I mean, that is kind of a scary thing. I sat on a mountain with a dude from West Virginia, and that's what he sounded like.
Listen, I have family from West Virginia, so you better not go too far with.
Yeah, be careful. Like,
there were no banjos.
You never know, honey. You never know what's in your background, yo. Mm-hmm. But anyhow, so getting back to the topic, I think this was your idea. I think the porn was your idea.
Yeah.
That's hot, guys. Like when a girl's like, hey, you know what we should talk about on our first podcast? And I'm like, what? And she's like, porn. I'm like, oh, well, you captured my attention.
Well, because Al and we always sit here and we talk about what is the progression of porn, how it starts out from beginning.
It's like the addiction, because nobody ever wants to say, like, I watch porn. Like, nobody ever does that, but everybody knows that everybody's watching porn.
Everybody knows everybody's watched.
Everybody knows, because it's a huge industry.
Some more than others, you.
It's no. I mean, I'm not afraid to admit it. Like, okay, yeah, I'm a dude and I watch porn. I mean, like, how many guys don't do that? Like, I would look at somebody weird if they said they didn't. Like, if somebody was like, I'm a guy and I never watch any porn, and they meant it, and you could tell that they meant it, and you were like, wow, this guy really hasn't, I would feel weird about that guy. I would be like, dude, that's the creeper. The creeper's the guy that doesn't watch the porn.
Someone told me a long time ago, and this actually has to do with masturbation, but someone told me a long time ago there's two types of masturbators. Those that say that they never have, and those that say they just quit. Well, I feel like porn is the same concept. Those that say they never have, and those that say they just quit. So
there's like two categories. I think that's true. That's a good point. I also think that, like, guys, if they're with a girl, like, every girl's different. Okay, this is my male perspective. I feel like there's two types of girlfriends.
You always know when he says something like that I'm gonna go.
Yeah, like but she might agree. You never know. Like, it's kind of like a crapshoot. Like, it's like an 80-20. Like, 80, she might be upset with me.
You can probably
20, but I feel comfortable
saying
I'm all in. I'm not worried about, like, repercussions. I feel free. Like, that's good, guys. Like, when you're in a relationship with a girl, it's important that you, like, get a girl where you can, like, feel like you can actually say something without, like, the girl there's crazy girls out there.
Yeah. Well, we're all a little crazy, but
there's really crazy girls out there. Yeah, like,
there's levels
just
of crazy. There's a level
well, the
of
unicorn,
porn.
right? The unicorn girl. Did you ever see that video with the
girl.
unicorn?
Right.
Like,
how she starts
and what
out.
does he say? Like he says, like you can't have both. But if you do, then that's or he says something about like at the very end, he's like, "This is a unicorn. You'll never find a woman like this." Like But anyway,
we have to show a little bit of that.
Yeah, we should probably put a little bit of that in the podcast. But, so
if they could see it.
Okay, let's get back to what's important. What people want to talk about though, sex, right? Sex and porn. Like, okay. So
maybe we should start from like teen porn up to early 20s.
Yes. Okay. So categories of porn.
Categories.
This is a good talking point. So she's like my perfect pairing on the first podcast. I'm gonna do a podcast with like everybody out there. Like I'm gonna just talk to everybody about everything. So like if you guys are interested,
and then you're gonna go
join.
on every point of the earth.
Oh my god, I'm gonna have so much fun. I think this is my new thing. Like I love this. I love this. I love talking with people.
I've not done this before.
It's nice to talk this way with you. Do you feel like it's different?
Yeah, it is. I feel like I've been on, your channels for YouTube and, Stream and whatnot for your other sites, but this is just something
This is cool
different.
because like
you
I've
could
had
just
other
be
girlfriends.
you. I could just be me and not feel like everyone's watching.
I've had other girlfriends.
Oh.
Because you don't have a camera on you.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more free.
I feel like as soon as that camera goes on you,
yeah,
it's
that's
like
what you're saying. Yeah.
a deer in the headlights for me.
I noticed that I had another girlfriend who got on camera before. And like you have much more personality. You have much more like it's cool like to see the progression or the evolution of me doing this.
Yeah.
Because I've been doing this a while.
Yeah, you've been doing it a long time. You started out with your kids doing it.
Yeah, like this is something that's like my hidden passion.
Yeah.
I love this thing.
We're both creative people, so we love to.
But that's what I'm saying. Like you're the girlfriend who actually,
I'm the unicorn.
You are, and that's why she talked about the first episode being porn. Do you see, guys? This is what I'm talking about. She's like, hey, let's do an episode on porn. So yes, okay. So the classifications of porn. Okay, so let's get on.
So we're gonna start out, teens to 20s, early
teens
20s.
to 20s. Okay, teens to 20s. Is that like the normal go-to porn when you first start porn?
Yes. Like the only porn that you can find.
This is funny. We all want to share our experiences. So when you're listening, can you tell us what your first time was?
Yes.
In the
first
comments.
Time watching a porn.
Like tell us what your first time was.
I think everybody.
For people that are still listening. I wonder if people are still like listening. Because like that's one of the things like I think about is like, when you're doing these types of things, like how many people are actually at this point, like 8 minutes in?
Right.
Like do you really think that there's that many people?
I don't know.
I feel freer. I feel like I can say anything now. Like now I feel like this is even better if nobody's listening.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's intimate. It's just us two.
Better watch out.
Yeah, it's gonna get crazy here.
All right, so
people are coming back.
Back to the teens to early 20s, babe.
Tune into 8 minutes and 15 seconds. That's the best part of the show. Okay, go ahead.
So early.
That was your
early
first go-to
teens
porn. Was 18 to 20-year-old porn?
Okay, I would say
that's interesting that you said that.
My first one.
Mine wasn't.
What were the strippers? What were the guy strippers? The well-known ones.
Like,
Chippendale.
Why would I know that? Like, I would feel worried if I would know that answer. Go ahead.
So and this, I don't even know if this wouldn't even be porn. So you watched
dancers?
No. So this wouldn't even be porn yet. So my sister got it as a gift, this Chippendale dancing show type of thing. And I took it one night to a party that I went to.
Yeah.
And all these girls and even some guys were there. And we popped it in because we wanted to know what it was all about. I mean, it kind of like, grinding up and things like that. I mean, they were
Wait,
close.
this is like they were at a party?
No, if you ever see Chippendale dancers.
Yeah, but like...
they get up there and they dance.
Yeah, but
around.
like where were you when you saw them?
Oh, I was at a party. I brought the video.
Okay, gotcha.
And so we're watching it, and I didn't know. I was young. I mean, I was in my early teens.
Like how early? Like are we talking 13,
Probably
14?
Probably
You
13.
just became a teenage girl. Did you feel as a girl? Did you start to feel the pangs in the pants yet? No,
nothing like that.
I always wonder that.
No,
like, what age do girls feel like the pangs?
It's not like boys. Boys, I think, feel it
boys
from
feel it like
day
I
one.
think I'm like 3. I
mean,
felt
baby
pangs.
boner.
Right, like I felt like I was like feeling that way very early on in life.
I feel like I mean,
still
boys
do.
don't know what it is
Yeah.
until some certain point,
Yeah.
but they know, that
Yeah.
something, what is this? And how do I make it?
Yeah, because it's on the outside of our body. So,
Right.
like everything is exploratory. When you're
Right.
young, you're like, what is this? What is, see, girls kind
you
of
start
like,
with your feet and you move on up.
I feel bad for girls,
Yeah.
because they don't have anything to play with on the outside of their bodies. Like everything's inside. you know?
Yeah, and then
Like,
it's so funny and
feels
cute
good,
when
though.
when a baby and you're trying to grab him. It's like no, but then when like it'd be different the other route,
right. So, but okay, get on this. So Chippendales, they're dancing, they're grinding, they're doing
Okay.
stuff, and you're interested. Or you're 13 years old, and you're feeling like what, sexual now?
I don't know if I'm no.
Did that turn you on? Did the Chippendales
no,
turn you
I'm
on?
I'm trying to tell you. I said no. At that
Okay,
point, I was
okay.
not even into boys.
So-
I didn't like boys.
but
I'd
what
never
was your
even kissed
first-
a boy until I was that.
But what was your first porn? Like, what was your first
I'm starting
porn?
with this.
But this isn't porn. This is like
no, but
guy
this
dancers
is
and they're
where
13.
it started. Just like for boys when they watched
This is when the awakening
a
is. What
TV
you're saying,
show
this is-
with the girl's
see, this is
cleavage showing.
The girl, yeah, this is like a girl's like she's going through like her emotional response right now. So you can't just tell you the visual stimulation the first time I actually saw porn. I'm gonna tell you the first time I felt it. I'm gonna tell you the first time I felt porn in my pants, and it was when I was watching Chippendale dancers.
All right.
No, but-
Maybe we need to get off this topic with you.
No, but what was the first time you saw it? Like stimulate? Like what? Like do you remember the first time you saw?
The first time I saw real porn where actual sexual interaction was happening wasn't until
You sound like a doctor.
do sound
The
all of a
first
sudden.
time that I saw sexual
you
interaction.
see.
When was it?
No,
How old were you and where
I
was it? And when
I
was
was
it? Do you
older.
remember?
I mean, I was in probably my late teens, early 20s, And I think I was at a party. Yeah, I was at a party.
And they were playing porn.
And
in the
somebody
background
had
or
a
something?
porno going on. These guys and
And
these
what type of porn was it? Do you remember?
I don't
Just
remember.
standard, like missionary
Just your
style?
standard normal
Like
porn,
old school
nothing
90s
crazy.
old
Yeah,
school 90s
that's why
porn?
it's it builds up to
Yeah.
get to that unicorn of porn.
Old
You
school
can't
90s
start
porn.
unicorn of porn.
No, you can never start it.
because if you start unicorn of porn, your life is downhill from there.
This is the whole point of our podcast is what ends up happening is that you go down this trail. It took us 12 minutes approximately to reach the point of the entire video. And we're sorry about that, everybody listening out there. But the point is this.
Okay. Do
The
we
point
have a
is-
point,
yes,
baby?
there is a
Is
point
it a
to this.
unicorn porn?
We're not just babbling here. We have factual, common
right.
sense, news editorial style podcast. Are you ready? Welcome to WTF FTW. No. So what the point is like you go down this path. You start.
That's what I'm saying. I started with
very basic.
I started
porn.
with Chippendales because that was like, wow, that was the first time I saw anything real sexual.
Right.
But these guys are grinding and
then like it starts to warp itself and like I don't know.
What else am
I
I going to see next?
I don't know if it warps itself for a long time. I think it starts out where for the first 10 years of watching porn, right? You're like an average porn watcher. Like
I wouldn't even say average, especially for women. Men, maybe. I mean, they sit at home and they watch.
Not the amount of times, but the type of porn.
Oh, yeah.
I think
nothing too crazy.
You're never going into the crazy
no,
genre. I would say 10.
You can't go a horn first.
10 solid years of like normal porn. Because this is good because we have a mix of age groups. We have a mix of age groups. So like the younger kids aren't going to maybe understand what we're talking about, but the older generation.
Although, I don't know, this generation, who knows?
Yeah, that's true. Like
kids,
you can never know.
I think they are caught up a little too far.
Maybe, maybe they're way out there.
Right.
Before, maybe they're past the unicorn. Maybe they're like at the, maybe they're way past the unicorn of porn.
Right.
Is there something past the unicorn of porn? So that's the point. So that's the point, guys. So like what the point is you walk down this path of porn.
Yeah.
Because you're kind of always watching porn your entire life. Mm-hmm. I mean, me.
Yeah, as
Is
a
that
woman,
normal?
no. I want to
no?
say no because
I would feel like I wouldn't know what to
did
do.
not watch really in my teens to my 20s porn. It wasn't until I was in a relationship with someone and we started getting a little more adventuresome.
Did a guy introduce you to the porn?
Yeah, well, it introduced me to a lot of new things, but it's you start out a little more.
You sound so factual when you talk. You sound like when I'm listening to you, I'm like, wow, she sounds like she's like my sex ed teacher, and I'm starting to get turned on. Yeah, I'm like, hey,
so for the
teach me
next
the next lesson of this.
No. So no, just for, like I said, for women, we start later in life usually with a lot of these things, and men, like we saw it as normal that teenagers on up were watching porn because that's what guys do. You know, as long as there's the equation of you don't watch more porn than you have sex, and you don't have, you know,
you don't want to like, yeah, right. But see, the guys always watch more porn than they have sex. Because guys have like this innate ability.
Do you really
to continue.
Think that? I don't think that's true.
It depends.
I think
if you're in a relationship, but you'd be surprised. A lot of women don't always like the sex. Like there's a lot of women that have sexual hangups out there, and they go like weeks.
Okay.
They go weeks. They'll go weeks without having sex.
Okay.
And then what does a guy do? Well, he's going to watch some porn, and then
I'm not. No. But you're going to far extremes. I'm going to the point where you're in a heavy relationship. Sex is great.
Am I making it too complicated? Okay.
Simplify, baby.
Okay.
Simplify.
Well, hey, the thing is like I'm just talking about relationships right now, and a lot of women out there will say this. They will say, I don't feel like it tonight, honey, and then they stretch it out for like 2 weeks, and then what is a guy supposed to do in those 2 weeks? He's supposed to get off.
Yeah, you're stereotyping every woman because there is a lot lot of women,
like
self
you
included.
Right, like, and I'm proud of you.
Thank you. I mean,
you might be a unicorn in a way because you are very horny.
got the all-round unicorn.
I'm very excited about this. I'm very excited about this podcast. And I'm just very excited right now talking to you. But like, okay, there is the progression after 10 years. Would you say 10 years or 5 to 10 years of like you watching standard kind of porn?
Yeah, so I don't
agree with that statement?
You know what's funny is I don't know that I ever went standard for myself because as a woman, you're laughing at me again.
Because you said, I don't know if I go standard. And I'm thinking, like, no shit. I know you so well, like nothing about you is standard.
No, I don't know if I ever did. Because
but what is that after the next step?
So
standard
I went
goes
from
to what?
seeing it at a party and maybe a couple of relationships that, watched a video. We had our VHS.
Yeah, but then like after the 5 to 10 years, after the 5 to 10 years of normal porn, what is the next porn?
So then, I mean, usually it's the guy, but girls do it too, I guess. I mean, I was never that way, when I was younger. I was more like, whatever you want. Blah, blah.
It gets more twisted, doesn't it? Like every year it gets more twisted. You go down this spiral.
So it's just the normal,
Is it normal?
Every day.
Maybe it's not normal. Maybe we're the only ones that feel this way when people are listening to us and they're like, these guys are fucking freaks.
There's a lot of freaks out there, though.
Yeah, that's so true.
I mean, there wouldn't be so many different types of porn. I mean, there's every version out there. There wouldn't be so many versions if there weren't enough freaks.
Yeah, I feel so like freaked out by my audience right now. Like they're even freakier than I am while I'm talking. And I'm like wondering what it is that those people do. Like, how weird do they get?
Like, what's the weirdest you'd go
They get butt plugs with the furry tails and shit.
Oh, God. Never
I can't
understood
do that.
fetish.
I don't get that. I don't get
weird
the furry
fetishes.
thing.
That's the other thing.
I don't get the furry thing, but, like, I will say that the porn definitely starts to warp. Like, you start trying to find, like,
daddy
porn.
No. So
like,
you start out with the very moderate,
when the young girls call
station.
them daddy type thing, and then there's there's, like, so many different, there's, like, the women love the DP, the double penetration, like that's a big deal.
Well, I think that's a fantasy for every woman, just like there's a fantasy for every man.
Think about how many women out there have never really experienced the DP.
Think about
there's so many.
Think about how many women out there that are still, I mean, they're laying on their backs and taking it and not
like
even doing anything.
That's so sad.
Like the boring sexual relationships.
Like, so sad. I feel so bad for those people. Listen, if you're listening and you just if you're that person, just change it up tonight.
Yeah.
Like
try something new.
Just do that for us, for this podcast, and tell us, prance around like a little pony,
ever,
with your little shiny jewel butt plug. And be
there
a little,
just are some that are a little too far off.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying, hey,
I like
their own, because
I
maybe some of the things
into,
we think of that
I started getting into the serious kind of pain porn.
Mm-hmm. Which I don't understand.
I don't know what that is about.
People
like a
prefer inflicting pain most of the time over receiving
it. It's kind of scary sometimes. And it's very out of the box kind of sexual shit. And I think because it's like way out there, that's what the appeal is because like this shit is like shit.
Well, yeah, I think that's why,
really
because a lot of times most of it remains fantasy.
Maybe there's a lot of people that have,
But a lot of times, most of it remains fantasy for people. They'll do it in their heads and with their partners,
right?
But they never actually play out that role. That
maybe that's the deal. Like,
and I think that for some, that's
maybe.
enough. That's enough.
But what if what I think going down that is very similar to what we're talking about, but we're talking about it in a soft core way. We're talking about it in the porn way, right? We're going down this road,
right.
and
it's
we're becoming more warped on
Sexual
a fantasy,
progression, just like
on
porn
a fantasy. But we're doing it on a fantasy. Whereas, like, if you do it in real life and you go down that road and you experience those experiences, that would be a whole other experience than the experience we're even talking about, which is just the porn. We're just talking about the porn and the unicorn of porn and following the warp and the degradation of like the
now you're getting a little too deep, babe.
I'm just saying there's
you're
like that parallel. Too much for the audience.
Too much
for the audience.
We're talking about porn, honey.
I am, but like I'm switching over to real life now. Like, what about those porn stars?
Well, I had Carl in my head.
Porn. We do this for Walking Dead.
Sorry,
for Walking Dead fans.
Dead. Which we should not correlate to sexual.
No way. That's kind of gross. You just went to that really bad.
Yeah, we should not have zombies.
We don't endorse zombie
No, we don't
sex.
endorse.
Although that would be kind of weird.
That would be kind of
weird. Maybe I would just want to watch it just to see what zombie sex would look like.
Well, you'd probably get a groaner.
Lots of biting.
You would get a groaner every time.
A groaner? Oh my God! High five. We got that on the podcast. We got a groaner.
Oh man,
that's pretty good. That was pretty funny.
Thank you.
I think that added some special spice to the podcast.
Speaking of Walking Dead on Sunday.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to the Walking Dead.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think each season that goes along on Walking Dead starts to get worse and worse. And I was really into it on season 1, really into it season 2, especially with the Shane thing. They should have kept that going on a little bit longer.
I know.
The whole.
How long can you keep it going though?
You could have gone a while with that. Those two were like that. You're always wondering if Shane was going to shoot him and if Rick was going to do something. But you got to drag it out just a little. You got to make people suffer just a little longer. I think they killed Shane too fast. Yeah, you got to reel him in. You got to just like we're doing to you.
I got to reel you back
in. Sorry, we're talking about
porn.
Walking Dead. So anyway, the whole point of this, and we should probably wrap it up, but like the whole point of this is that you go down this path, and it's not a bad thing. I don't think it's a bad thing. It's just a progression.
You want to become more and more adventuresome.
At some point, you don't want to become addicted to the porn.
No, because sometimes you have to break off from it and be like,
and it gets harder and harder.
That normal missionary take me, baby.
But in having sex with your partner, sometimes it's harder to get off. Because you're so used to seeing
it becomes
shit.
It's so like with people with drugs.
Yeah, you gotta
get a build up to it. Okay, I gotta shake this off. I gotta go cold turkey. And then once you go cold turkey, like you can just watch scale it back, baby.
All that heroin, it's too much. I gotta stop it. Maybe like every
crack
other
is
week.
Whack, yo.
Crack is whack.
Speaking of crack, let's go back to unicorn porn.
Sorry.
Segue.
But anyhow, the end point, and we should wrap it up. And thanks for listening, everybody.
Yeah.
We this was our first podcast, and I think it went splendidly.
Splendidly.
Absolutely the way
we may have to have a part 2 of unicorn to porn.
We could.
I think
we'll see what the reaction
need it.
is.
Yes.
Well, you know what? And then you post these things, and they, like. You're like, I can't wait to see what it is that happens, and like you get like 2 people or the random person who says first, or the guy that's like, oh, I loved your content. Would you check mine out? Or like, and you're like, fuck you.
That's gonna be our next one.
Yeah, that's a pretty one. Like, I'm not gonna fucking do any shit. This isn't like telemarketing. This is like you're either in it or you're out. So thanks for watching. Watching? Well, if you did,
he's used to doing his YouTube.
Doing videos and all the tubes. There's so many tubes. There's so many tubes, baby. We get back on track, and we didn't even mean to.
I know.
It's fucking great.
So I think you guys get the point of where we're heading.
So tell us what you think about our theory of the unicorn of porn. Tell us your first sexual experience where you were. Oh, can I just wrap this up with my story? First time for me of ever being introduced to porn. Get this. This is funny. You'll like this. So
I don't even know if I know this story.
You don't? I don't think so.
Tell me.
Okay, so it was Cinemax. You remember old school Cinemax back in the day? And we used to call it Skinemax. Remember, it was called Skinemax for the longest time? So my friend Doug, it was Doug and Tony and I, we were like 9, really 9. And we spent the night there, and we all slept in the living room. We were on the floor with our sleeping bags. We're 9-year-olds and shit, probably playing Star Wars and some bullshit like that. And afterwards, Doug's like, hey, let's watch some TV. So we're watching TV. Then there's like a baseball game.
That
and shit
kind of
on.
looks like a creeper, so
Doug?
I could see this.
Yeah, I don't know. Doug looks like Ichabod Crane. Like, I love Doug. Doug's an awesome dude. Doug looks like Ichabod Crane, though. He does look a little
looks
creepy.
like he would do my taxes or taxidermy. One of the two. I don't know.
Doug, if you're listening, I'm so sorry.
I'm just kidding.
She loves you, dude.
I'm just kidding.
She loves you. She's just being silly.
He's not listening.
He won't. Nobody is. Nobody's listening, right? But, like, the great thing is that he's like, let's watch some TV, and it was like maybe 10, and there was a baseball game on and stuff. And this is back in the day, like when the cable box with the red numbers, you know, the brown mahogany plastic bullshit. It was like you would type in the number, and there was like an up arrow and a down arrow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This was those days. And like he put it on 16, and channel 16 was Cinemax, and I knew it. And you know, the only experience previous to actually seeing a porn that I had was when I would flip on the Playboy channel, and it would be like won't, and it'd be that black and white like line that would go down, and you wouldn't be able to see anything except for every 52 seconds or so.
Yes,
it would like go straight, and you'd be like, oh,
I remember
shit,
that.
like I see some people. So like when that was my first experience with that. And then it was my lady companion afterwards when I had no porn.
Yeah, my long-term boyfriend was the one that literally like showed me the way to porn, like you know, the crazy porn.
Okay, but
The
let me
start of
finish
the
this. Okay,
crazy
well, let's
porn.
get back on that afterwards. But like, listen to this. So Doug changed on 16, and Tony and I were like, oh shit, we just hit Cinemax land. You know, like, and they had
they've all seen
Cinemax.
it.
They have Cinemax, you know, and so. It's this island of women that had like their breasts out. And I was like, oh, this is the first, like, I was very young.
That wasn't the first time you saw boobs, was it?
At 9, that many
maybe.
together. Yeah. That was, and I was very impressed.
Okay.
I was like, ooh.
You were 9? Wow.
Yeah. And
Boys are such little pervs.
we are. We are.
Totally
And
little
all three of
pervs.
us just like shut up. And we were like, oh, we saw the magnificence of boobs all together.
Were you all like, oh?
Yeah, we didn't say anything. Like the three of us just stared
Was there a standing
at the
ovation
screen.
going
No, we would have though. Had we known at that age, like we would have applauded.
God, ugh, okay. Ugh.
And
God, boys are such pervs.
so I'm telling you right now, like,
What did you guys say to each other? Like 3 boys, like.
oh, that's weird. You're
weird.
thinking of weird. You're thinking of weirdness.
you're all
No,
3
I'm not even
watching
aware.
porn
But I'm not
together.
even
That's
aware of
weird.
like this. Now you're really see. This is the unicorn of porn. You're warping it into like a 3-way with 9
This
years
is where
old.
he comes in as a creeper.
This is not anything I'm thinking or endorsing, by the way.
I'm
I don't
not
know why
saying,
you're
but it's
saying
just
this
so
is like
weird.
so weird that you're turning this into this.
All right.
I didn't even notice that the other 2 guys were there. Like it was like that many
They
boobs.
all went away when you saw
It was
boobs.
like so many boobs.
That makes sense. That
Like,
makes sense.
It's just like,
Boys can blood only goes to
but that's
one
what I'm saying.
head or
Like,
the
and
other.
then we all looked at each other like, are those a lot of boobs or are those a lot of boobs? Like in confirmation. And we were like nodding our heads like, yeah, that's a lot of boobs. And then we started watching it. Well, the funny thing is then they had like softcore
This is
sex.
like Lean on Me. I feel
Softcore
very
sex.
Lean on Me
They had the
moment.
softcore sex. You didn't see the, you know, but you could figure out what was going on. And I have to say, I'm like, oh my God. Yeah. And I knew it was wrong. But, and then Doug was like, guys, we got to turn this off right away. And Tony's like, don't turn it off yet. And Doug's like, I'm going to get in trouble. I got to turn it off right now. And like, I'm laughing. I was laughing. I'm like, yeah, you should probably
the
turn it off.
instigator.
And then Tony's
you
like,
really?
no, I was like, I didn't want to get in trouble.
Surprised.
Oh, fuck that shit. I didn't want
At
to get in
that
trouble.
point, you were a good kid? Wow.
But yeah. There was a point. There was a point where I was good.
Okay,
I can
okay.
vaguely remember.
I think it was after watching the Island of Boobs,
I can
and that was
vaguely-
over.
I think that was the corruption.
It
was
corrupted
the first,
your head,
and then it was
that
game
was
over.
it.
You could
Yes.
never say that there was another owl that young.
Right,
that
right.
That was ever so pure. He's gone. He's gone
Your
now.
purity was lost that day.
To boobs.
Way
Boobs. Evil,
before
evil
your
boobs.
virginity or
Evil
purity.
boobs. The boobs did it.
Right.
So anyway, yeah. So we did get in trouble. We actually did get in trouble because somehow Tony's mom found out.
Why is there not a porn called Hills and Valleys?
There probably is. Look that up, audience.
I
There
feel like
probably
there should
is.
be. Okay.
Where did that come from?
Because you were talking about boobs, and then I was like,
Even okay,
hills.
we are getting way off track here. I can't stand the podcast anymore. Thanks for listening, everybody. This is our first WTF FTW, and we'll be back again very shortly. And this is a great way to start off the podcast. The first 2 or 3 will be you, honey.
Yeah.
And then I'm just going to go around the world.
And then you're going to throw me off?
No, you come back
Really?
as much as you want.
Well, good.
But I'm going to go around the world.
Are you going to go around
Yeah,
the world?
I know so many people.
I
I know so many people around the world that I've been around the world, and I can't find my baby.
No?
I don't know where, and I don't know why. And that's as far as I go with
I know,
that.
I
I
was
can't
gonna say,
remember
I can't
any
remember the rest
more
of
of
the
the words,
words.
but I remember that song, and nobody else does that's listening. Thank you for listening to the first podcast ever here on WTF FTW.
Thanks,
and
guys.
we'll be joining you again on the next episode, which is going to be what?
I don't know. I mean, we may not be done with the Unicorn of Porn. I feel like we
Another
kind of
part
went
to it.
AZDGB.
We were all over the map. If they can't follow it, that's too bad. They need a compass.
I don't know. Maybe
second
they
episode,
need to know how to get to the Unicorn
What
of
is the
Porn.
second episode though? Like I know we have another episode written down here. We got like 2 episodes.
We're gonna
planned.
talk about the whole.
And I want to give it to them. I want them to know what the next one is.
Yeah, McAfee.
McAfee. Oh, we're going to talk about crypto on the next one because there's a
Yes,
big
we have a
crypto
story,
audience. We have a big
yeah.
cryptocurrency audience.
But we have a really interesting
Story,
rumored
yeah.
story we heard
About John
firsthand
McAfee.
and secondhand.
About John McAfee.
Actually, this would be
Oh, this is
secondhand.
perfect to like go into. I'm sorry you guys aren't going to be able to listen to that for a while. At least now in the present. Like if
Right.
they're listening to this in the past or in the future, if they're listening to this in the future, then there will be past episodes.
Year 2000.
And more now because we're in
Yeah, we
2018,
can.
so that really doesn't work.
Damn
I know, that's so sad.
it. Year 3000.
No, I don't even think that works anymore.
No.
Because I think we'll all be dead by then. But that's another podcast.
All right.
All right. See you guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.